I wonder if Francis Chan's latest claim to heal an entire village of people has something to do with the fact that he's been hanging out with Todd White. Let's talk about it for a second. How's it going, truthers? And I just want to touch on the Francis Chan story, account, supposed telling of what he did in a small village in Asia. Now, Francis Chan has been receiving a lot of criticism lately over the last couple of months and years because he's been seen with people like Benny Hinn and Todd White and these, name it and claim it, and these healing, quote-unquote, healing people, and these prophets and apostles and all these people that we mostly try to avoid in the Christian church if you're a regenerated Christian, especially in the Reformed camp. And they've received a lot of criticism. Todd White, obviously, has received a lot of criticism, and he has been exposed. His leg lengthening miracle that he claims he can do at will has been shown to be a fraud. You can watch a video. Actually, I'll put the video up here somewhere. And nice little paint there. And you can see somebody breaks down where he actually just takes and pushes that leg back so their hip is kind of back further than the other one, and then he just kind of, does a thing where he puts it's like, oh my gosh, look, this foot right here is shorter. Do you guys, oh my, it's like an inch shorter. And then he, Lord, let it heal. And he kind of shimmies. And then, the legs, whoa, they're the same length. And he's obviously a fraud and a liar, and he's been exposed. And so when Francis Chan started hanging out with the likes of Todd White and Benny Hinn and people like this, he started to gain a lot of criticism for being with them. Now, I could understand that, and I could also understand Francis Chan, maybe being with his people if he was trying to minister to them. Perhaps if he was invited to a conference where they were speaking and he would actually preach the real gospel, or he would criticize faith healers, or he would preach biblical things, where he would bring people back to the word. But he hasn't done that. And then recently, a story broke about 2 weeks ago that he had healed an entire village in Asia. Every single person, deaf people, blind people, people that had, limps, or I don't know if he did any leg lengthening, but he says that in 52 years, he's never experienced anything like this. But then all of a sudden now that he's been spending time with faith healers, or people that claim they're faith healers, all of a sudden now he's experienced the miraculous gift of healing, even though he's never experienced it before in 52 years. Now, I obviously believe that God can do whatever he wants. He can heal an entire village in Asia if he wants to. He can use Francis Chan. He can even use Todd White. Todd White could miraculously heal somebody, and it could actually be God using him, I guess. It'd be very weird, but it could happen, even though Todd White's a heretic, but God uses whoever he wants to get his purposes accomplished. But it just seems like the timing is off. And now Mr. Chan is slipping down the slope that we've seen so many people go down before. He says that when I read his statement, it just struck me as odd that, he said he's been praying for healing for people for 52 years, and he's never seen healing. He's never seen a single person healed, but all of a sudden he starts hanging out with faith healers. And then he experiences healing, and it's almost like this rush of emotion, this rush that, finally, I found this thing. I can actually see a physical outworking of the Holy Spirit. I have this visual confirmation that the Holy Spirit's with me, and that this healing has occurred. And I think that's always dangerous, because if you haven't experienced the gift of healing, which I think some people probably could have, not Todd White or Benny Hinn, but if you've never experienced it in 52 years and you've been a pastor and you've been praying for people to be healed, and then all of a sudden now that you're associating with these people who claim that they have this apostolic authority and gift, you should probably be a little concerned. And I'm concerned for Francis Chan. I love Francis Chan. He's taught me a lot. He's had a lot of great sermons. I've learned a lot from him, but I'm afraid he's going down the path of a worn road that so many people have already gone down, and it's a dangerous path. He shouldn't be associating with these people, and if he's going to associate with them, which he's well within his Christian liberty to do, he needs to speak out against them. If you're going to associate with somebody who's not a Christian, or who is claiming to be a Christian and is a false Christian. You know, if Jesus would hang out with tax collectors and, you know, prostitutes and people like that, and sometimes he could hang out with a Pharisee or a Sadducee. You can hang out with these people, you can associate with them, you can be in their presence, but then you need to speak against them when they do false workings, false miracles, when they aren't actually preaching the gospel, when they're doing a distorted version of the gospel, or a very, you know, small, oh, look, you know, 1 Corinthians, and oh, look, we're healing, it's a gift, and, you know, I have the gift of healing, and you take things out of context. He needs to stand up against those people, or else he's going to end up just being another Michael Brown. We don't need more Michael Browns. And I love Michael Brown too. He's got a lot of good stuff. He's debated with James White. He's debated against him. I think he is a brother in the Lord, but he has a serious gap in his discernment when it comes to this charismatic, name it and claim it healing movement that is just awash on TBN and Daystar and all these other major networks. It's not something that you need to be in, Mr. Chan. It's not. And if you would just step back and just take a moment to just use some discernment, just watch some YouTube videos, just do some basic research into who these men and women are, what they preach and teach. And I don't care if they heal every single person that comes across their path from today to the day that they die. If they preach a false gospel, we know that those healings aren't real. It could be demonic. It could be a fake thing. It could be, you know, leg shifting and lengthening. It could all be a trick, an act pulled over our eyes. It could be demonic. We don't know. But if you don't have the right gospel, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So I wish that Mr. Chan would just take some time before he, you know, starts getting into this world that I see him slipping into. And like I said, again, with like Dr. Michael Brown, I've learned a lot from him. He's got great sermons. I believe he's a brother in the Lord, but he just has this gap in discernment. And I think it's because, you know, he loves people and he loves everybody, you know, and he wants to reach all groups, you know, and maybe he feels this is a good way for, you know, to associate with these people and to kind of move into this quasi-religious healing thing that's going on. And that's how he can reach people. Maybe, you know, he felt this rush because he felt the Holy Spirit move through him. And maybe he did heal people. Maybe, you know, it's possible. Maybe he did heal people. Maybe he healed an entire village of people. But I can't prove that. And if for 52 years he has never healed an entire village of people, or he's never healed anybody according to what he has said, or he's never seen it, it just seems odd to me that now would be the time to claim a miraculous move of the Spirit. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't, I don't know, but I think it's weird, and I think it's dangerous for Mr. Chan to be going down the way he's going. For followers of his, friends of his, you know, people that have attended his church, you know, we don't just throw him out now that he's making this claim, but we correct him. We rebuke the falseness. We rebuke his associations with false teachers. And then we try to kind of reel him back. Be like, you know, Francis Chan, we love your heart for people. We love that, you know, you had this experience, but you need to make sure that you're founded in the Word first. And don't be making these charismatic, boisterous claims now, and maybe just take a moment to step back, you know, examine yourself. You know, I know he's talked about going to Asia to pastor over there, you know, and this article I read, you know, said there's too many fish in the pond over here. That's good. You know, that's good. We need the Word everywhere, obviously, but we need the right Word, not just some of the Word, not just bringing a movement, not just bringing emotion. Bring the gospel, the actual gospel, and use just some basic discernment and research into who you associate with, Mr. Chan. I hope that your ministry does great. I hope it flourishes. I love some of your stuff. We probably don't agree on everything, but that's okay. That's not a problem. But if you do see this, Mr. Chan, I hope you'll take the time to evaluate yourself and where you're moving, and, you know, take a couple of weeks, take a couple of months, and decide if this is really something you want to be a part of, if this is really something you want to push. If you did heal people, that's awesome. You know, the Holy Spirit can do whatever he wants to. You know, God has done many bigger things in the past. He can do whatever he wants. He's obviously has no limit. But just be careful, Mr. Chan, and followers of Mr. Chan. Maybe, you know, try to hold him accountable when things like this happen. I don't want to see him fall like we've seen so many other people fall, you know, in the eyes of God and in the eyes of his church and in the eyes of people. We have enough bad publicity in the Christian church without another person, you know, going to the circuit, you know, the preaching circuit or the healing circuit or whatever, you know, all these people that support each other, and even though they have contradicting ideologies and theology, it doesn't matter because they're just trying to make money. It's a big thing. You get on TBN, you get on Daystar, you get on whatever it is you get on, and you make $1 million. Well, several $1 million, especially if you're Joel Osteen. But that's neither here nor there. Hey, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope that this helps. I doubt Francis Chan will ever see this video, but if he does, I hope that you will take the time, Mr. Chan, to use a little bit of discernment, to take some time, step back, look at what you've done, look at what you've said, look at who you're associating with. And obviously, if you're, you know, a friend of Francis Chan's, or you know him or you follow him, maybe take some time to send him a message and be like, hey, you know, just want to make sure that you're using discernment to make sure this is an actual move of God and not just something that you're kind of getting caught up in. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you liked everything you saw here. If you have any ideas for future videos, or if something comes up and you want me to comment on it or make a video, just let me know. If you have any ideas for my Christian critique videos, you can put those down in the comments below as well. Do me a favor and like this video. It really helps out. And if you could subscribe to my channel, that helps as well. You know, YouTube's got that weird algorithm thing where if you get more likes, obviously there's interaction. So I guess it's not weird, but it helps your videos get seen more. And that helps me out. Hopefully that helps out, you know, people who are looking for discernment or who are looking for information. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it.